Jason, I guess we can just start with Maxey and 8 3-pointers tonight. Just your overall thoughts on that.
Pretty good. He had the shots that he's had, and we all have said this. He hadn't made any. At the end of the season, but he's just a pro. He keeps playing defensively. He never complains, and the beauty of his teammates trust him, and he has to shoot him because he can shoot. And today he made him, and we're going to need him no matter if he makes or misses. It just creates space. It helps everyone on the floor, and he was huge for us tonight for us to get up 47 threes.
You lost the rebounding battle in game 1 by 19. You lost it again tonight by 19. How do you make sense of this crazy game?
Well, that's just part of basketball. You can't win every stat. You can't because you guys will pick everything apart that we didn't win the rebounding game. We didn't win something. We didn't turn the ball over. We won that stat, and then one of the biggest stats is we won the game. We ran it back. That's what we talked about. If we run it back, we felt like we were going to make shots. And again, we held them under 33s. Hard to do, but it gives us an opportunity, we believe, to win. And they, we felt they got to their playmaker, Gobert, because he only had one shot, and they tried to get him more shots. And they're going to have to continue to get him more shots. But they can win the rebounding war, but it's about winning the game, and that's what we did.
Jason, you also won with Jalen. I saw you two talking pretty frequently throughout the game, and I know that's something you tend to do, but what did you sense from him and just kind of his purpose and his demeanor tonight and going out there and being that leading guy on offense?
Yeah, he didn't wait. He took up the space and was aggressive from the jump ball. We talked about it earlier. Again, don't wait. Get to your spot and do what you do best. And I thought he ran the team extremely well. He found spots to score, and then he made plays. I thought one of the biggest plays, and we won't talk about it, or it won't be a big one, but I told DP to be ready to shoot a 3 and that your buddy's going to find you, and he did, and it looked good. I thought he made it. DP said it felt good. All shooters said it feels good. But it's just the trust. That locker room trusts the game plan, and they trust each other, and you saw that tonight.
What impact do you think dribble penetration had, especially when you guys were playing 5 out and setting up all those threes?
Well, analytics will say if you're shooting 3s and the other team's shooting 2s, you have a great chance of winning. And so it's just mathematics. If we're making 3s and they're making 2s, we feel like we're playing their game, and we feel we have the advantage. And as we get healthy here, hopefully that gives us the edge. They're a great team. They're well coached, but if we can continue to attack the paint and make them play defense, we truly believe we're going to get an open shot if we are patient. And tonight we got all the open shots we want, and we made them.
Tim Gano, The Athletic. Speaking of on that dribble penetration, how much easier was it once Maxey started hitting those threes, and it both pulled Rudy out a little bit, and then he was sucking back in, and there was just a rotation all around the court. Did you feel like the offense and the looks you guys were getting dramatically improved at that point?
If we make shots, we truly believe we have a chance to win. That's not guaranteed that we can win, but it gives us the opportunity to win. We had the same looks in game 1, and we just didn't make it. It's just like the season. Early in the season, we didn't make shots. We struggled a little bit offensively, but defensively gave us the opportunity to win. And so the talk of the last couple of days is continue to believe and trust one another, that when you let go of the ball, that you're gonna make the shot, and that's what those guys did. Even Josh, I thought, had great looks. Turned down a 3 to get a mid-range, made it. Like, he's gonna be open, and we're encouraging him. He's gonna shoot it, and he's gonna make them. That's what we believe in. If we continue to make the right basketball plays, we truly believe we can be in a situation to win games. Now we got to take it on the road.
Did you want Jalen seeking out more threes? 10 was a season high, the 10 attempts he had, and I think your career high. Did you actively hope he would have a number closer to 10 or double digits?
I don't know if we have a number on an individual, but as a team, we have a number, and we got there tonight. So, but again, as I said earlier, JB didn't wait tonight. He after the jump ball, he was aggressive offensively, and he went and continued to keep attacking the whole night.
When you talked about JB this year, you said one of your goals is to get him paid. How much money do you think he made tonight?
A lot. He's gonna make a lot of money. I don't know if he needs an agent, but I'm gonna put my name in the hat. But it's not just what he did tonight, and it's not what he's gonna do going forward. He's already done the work this season. He's shown that he deserves to be paid, and he does his job at a very high level, and he's a winner. Hopefully, he can pay me for that. What I just said, but he's a great young man, and I'm very lucky to be able to coach him.
Coach, is the only difference between games 1 and game 2 really is the fact you guys made a couple more outside shots tonight, whereas you just didn't go downside of it?
I would say free throws and a couple layups that would normally the bunnies that we missed. We had some great looks in game 1 that we missed that we normally make. And then when you look at the three-point line, I think we made 11 in the first game where we had some great looks, and tonight we make 22, I think. Is that right? Yeah. That's a lot of threes, but it's just this is a team that never is going to quit. You know, they're going to play to the end. They believe that they can win. And again, in the fourth quarter, no matter how much we've been rebounded out, we find a way to come up with the rebounds late in the game, and that's what wins games at this time of the year.
Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News. Ordinarily, going 1-1. To start a series isn't necessarily the desired result at home, but given that you guys playing without Luka and the way you guys came back tonight, do you feel like you've seized the series momentum?
No. Well, we did what we had to do, and that was to win tonight. We were only focused on tonight. Yes, the last game 1 was over. There's nothing we can do. Now we can rest and get ready for game 3 and understand what's in front of us, what's coming. It's going to be a hostile environment. They play extremely well at home, but we have to stay together, and we've shown that because after game 1, it's easily to go separate ways. But we truly, all season, Brad, we've been saying this, that after bad performances, we tend to bounce back, and there's nothing different. It's basketball, and that's what we did. We bounced back. Now we have to find a way to do what they did, and that's just win one game.
No, like I said, I was kind of louder today, sorry. Like I said, after the first game, there was a reason for optimism with the way that we defended and the style of the game. We just had to hit shots. Maxey, big time, right? 8 threes. And obviously enough can't be said about Jalen, the way he played. So, you saw the same style of game. 104 is not a far cry from 99. We obviously gave up a couple too many threes for what we'd like. But we played the way we wanted to and was fortunate to hit more shots than 93 points.
You mentioned Jalen there. What's it like to play next to a guy that just seems so locked in and just so, Jason said, like ready to attack from the jump?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of playing with Luka, in terms of playing with JB, like when they get on a heater, you just kind of hope to get the right matchup on them, set the right screens, and then let them hoop.
Dwayne Price, Maps.com. When Max's guys are going like this, Spencer, the whole idea is just to make sure you keep getting as more attempts as possible.
I think the beautiful part about Maxey in this series is he's a stretch 5. They play 2 traditional drop bigs. So it kind of distorts their defense because obviously, Rudy Gobert, Hassan Whiteside are phenomenal shot blockers at the rim. They want to come contest and, be a big help side presence. But, Maxey giving him space, it gives him room to knock down shots as well.
Overall, Utah obviously attempt a lot of 3-pointers and make a lot of 3-pointers. You guys made twice as many as they did tonight.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, I mean, I know we attempted a lot more as well, so I think that's a part of it. But, overall, just trying to run them off the line, make sure that they're not getting the 43s that they average, and, just flying around. And then, like I said, again, we're fortunate enough to make shots tonight.
Tim Cato, The Athletic, when those drop bigs actually have to close out on Maxey and they're kind of alternating the paint and Utah's rotating, what does that feel like? How does that change the dynamics of the court for you guys, the guards, dribbling on the outside?
Well, obviously, we're still trying to work the spacing, just get into the paint, start the blender, as they call it, and just make the right read. You know what I mean? A couple of those corner threes, just, they help. You pass to where they help from, and then it may not even be your assist, right? It may be the hockey assist because it's the swing to the slide to the corner or whatever it may be. But you're trying to break the paint, and start that defensive rotations.
I just saw the stat of 17 uncontested threes from you guys, which I think is the most in 10 years in the postseason.
Hey, a lot of it has to do with Maxey. A lot of that has to do with, obviously, Hassan Whiteside, Rudy Gobert, and then Jalen's ability to get in the paint.
Eddie, SEFCOMatch.com, knowing that the longer you take this series, the better the odds that Luka's going to make an appearance here on the line. So in that regard, how big was getting this one and not leaving yourself in an 0-2 hole?
I mean, I think, well, I wasn't here last year, obviously, but I know you guys had a wild series with the Clippers, right? Nobody could win at home. But in general, I mean, to your point, we know that we buy time for Luka to come back. It's not rocket science. We want to have him back as quickly and safely and healthily as possible. But we're also focused on winning the series, regardless. So, like I said after game one, like there was a reason for optimism, and there's still a reason for optimism.
We good? Oh, we got one on Zoom real quick. Kevin, go ahead.
Kevin Gray, 105 to the fans. Spencer, talk about the mentality of having to stay with it tonight. Obviously, a rough go as the night went on, but sticking with it and doing other things to help the team win, regardless of getting calls or not, as the game went on tonight.
I mean, it's life, man. When you're not a star, you get 16 free throws. Obviously, it's going to be a point of emphasis when it comes back around. So I should have known that and been a little bit more prepared for that in game two. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious kind of what went on. But it is what it is. Like, as a player, you're happy to win. You know what I mean? Like, if we had a loss, I'd probably have a much different demeanor in here. I mean, even, like, the half-court shot, like, he can't just run by and hit my left arm. Like, I don't care if it's a half-court shot or not. Like, you just can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, and so those types of things do change the complexity of a game. And then also change, like, whether or not y'all think I have a rough night or not, right? Because, what is it, 6 for 18? You take off 4 of those, and I'm 6 for 14. The percentages are solid. And, I got, 9 more free throws because I got fouled on the 3. So, 4 shots? Yeah. 3 is 6 and 9. Yeah. Let's say I hit 7 of those free throws because I was actually hitting free throws tonight. Then you're at 24. I'm just saying, like, you could paint the line, right? Like, you'd be 6 for 14, 1 for 5 from 3, 4, however many free throws it was, 24 points, 6 assists, like, and you'd be sitting here saying, damn, you played well and blah, blah. So, it's life, but I'll take the win regardless. Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, it's just quick, off the cuff math. So it's one of those things where, like, look, I know that the stat people and the people that watch box scores are going to be on my behind for this. And like I said, I should have been more prepared for that. But all in all, like, the right decisions made, like, my line looks different. Like, everybody's going to be happy and whatnot. So I'm not particularly mad about the way I played, other than the fact that I should have been prepared for it. So, like, that's where personal growth needs to happen. Like, I should have known that was going to happen and adjusted to that quicker.
Spencer, for you guys to win this series, are you going to have to win like you did playing tonight and be that reliant on 3-point shots? Because that's just the way it's going to have to be.
Well, I think in general, right, like, it's the way that Utah plays. So, like, and then obviously not having Luka. So Luka's a big driving force for our offense. Obviously makes a lot of plays, takes a lot of shots, all that stuff, right? So when our emphasis is now to crack the paint, start the blender, hit the open man, like you said, it was 17 open threes, right? Like, that was the most you said since 2010. Is that what you said? 17?
Yeah, I think the stats like about.
Yeah. So 10 years. So I mean, remember, like, you're looking for quality of shot, not necessarily like live and die by the 3. We're not Golden State, but anytime you can get 17 or maybe even 20 open threes, right? You're going to take that because quality of shot, like, and the way that basketball's played in 2022. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't Kobe and Shaq, Lakers with the triangle.
At what point did you feel like the basket was about to fly?
I don't know. I don't think there was a point where I thought that. I just, every time I was open, I shot the ball. We analyzed how they play defense and where the looks are coming from. So, you got to be ready to shoot and just let it fly. I didn't really think much about it.
And you were well aware your three-point percentage after the break wasn't pretty. What does a night like this, or even just when you hit a few, what does that do for your confidence? What does that do for the feeling, when you are open and when you know you need to let go?
I mean, obviously it's a big boost, but even the games before when I didn't shoot well, I think overall I still did many things and we won as a team. That's the most important part. And in the playoffs right now, it's a cliche, but numbers don't really matter. So all we care about is winning. And it doesn't matter if I get a hot day and make my shots or somebody else. All we care about is to get the win. And obviously it feels really good to make those shots because the end of the season was not my prettiest. But, this was one game now, and now you got to move on to the next one.
Maxius, you're going through it and you recognize at some point that you're hot. What are you thinking? Are you thinking, I want the ball more? What's going through your mind when you're hot?
Not necessarily that I need the ball more, because I know when I space out, we create gaps for, it doesn't matter if it's me or somebody else, but if you make shots and you're a hot player, then people tend to move more to you. So you open up the paint more for other guys. But I knew whenever I catch the ball and there's space, I'm going to let it fly again because, it felt like I had a hot hand and I just continued shooting.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this morning that your endurance wasn't totally there in game one, being your first game back. How did you feel tonight physically getting some more run?
I think the worst I felt in the first 1.5 minutes or whatever when I got subbed in, and after that it was okay. Yeah, and then the adrenaline takes over.
What made those 1.5 minutes so bad?
I don't know. I wish I would know.
Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News. Your teammates were going crazy on the sideline. Maybe even especially Luka. It might have been after the 6th or 7th one you made. There was a timeout. What kind of interactions did you have from Luka in particular?
I mean, Luka is the number one supporter for everybody. He wants us to do well, and obviously everybody was aware that I wasn't shooting the ball great at the end of the season. So I think the entire bench just was super happy for me that the ball went in, and it was like an extra hype for everybody, for me, for my teammates, for the coaches, and for everybody. And Luka, before that, even before all those other threes happened, I sat down after the first quarter when I played, and he said, "Good job." I was complaining about something that I did wrong, and he was just, "No, don't worry, man. You played well." That started way earlier, before I even made all the threes. So he's just out there. He wants to play so badly, but he's supporting everybody and just cheering us on.
EddieSutkoMavs.com. Given all the circumstances, you're down 1-0, you got to buy time for Luka somehow. Just how major is this particular victory for this team?
Big time, big time, big time. I mean, everybody came together. We fought. As you can see here, we still have to clean up the finishing plays part because they out-rebounded us like crazy, so we have to change it. But, it was just an overall fight. JB had an amazing game, but the whole team came together. Everybody believed. And one thing that coach always talks about, when one guy's down, like Luka, everybody else or the next guy has to step up. And I think that's what we did. We believed in ourselves. Even after game one, we knew we were right there. With our defense, we gave ourselves a chance. And I think we played good defense today too, except for rebounding, I would say. But that always gives us a chance to win games, and we just got to continue that.
Tim Cano, The Athletic. I'm not trying to harp on the shooting and where you were with it, but you said that you basically had to pick between practicing and playing games down the stretch of the season. Mm-hmm. I would have to imagine that actually being able to practice factors into your confidence levels, or at least you being able to figure, go 8 of 10, 8 of 11.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, back then I said also, I'm the type of person when I don't shoot well, I want to go in the gym and I want to get extra shots up, and I like to work out and all that stuff. And it's frustrating when you can't. But, sometimes you just got to be smart. And, obviously I want to get more shots up and practice on my shot when it doesn't fall. But, there's so many other things that I can do, as I said earlier. So, I had to focus on something else. And I also know that my shot is coming back. It's a stretch. It was a longer stretch than I wanted it to be. But, you just got to keep believing and keep shooting.
Did you not practice a behind the backward shot?
Yeah, I didn't practice that.
That would be like a my bad to the ref.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought I could make it, I didn't, but I mean, can't make every shot.
Yeah, we've got two on Zoom real quick. Isabella, go ahead.
Hi, Maxi. Congrats on the win. I was wondering, how was that speech from the coach before this game? It was incredible, like how you look that confidence, that desire to win, and now you have a 1-1 series.
What was the first part?
The speech from the coach.
How was the
speech today?
Oh, before the game?
The coach did.
I mean, Jay Kidd came in the entire time, and he said, like, he asked us, do we believe in it? And, you know, everybody answered yes, because we showed that we can beat them, with the team that we have right now. And, you know, we did a lot of great things, and we analyzed it in the video sessions too, and on the court. We just had to do the same thing. And the one thing that we didn't do in game one was making shots, because our defense was really good, and we changed it today. That's why we won, you know. But as long as we play our defense the way we did, and we believe in ourselves, I think we have a good chance to win those games. And Jay Kidd just told us, be confident. When you guys are open, let it fly, because we have two amazing ball handlers for us that create open shots for us. So everybody else, just be ready and play your game.
Last one, Max.
Thank you. Hey, Maxi.
Hey.
Glückwunsch zu 25 Punkten. Kannst du dich schon mal daran erinnern, oder kannst du dich daran erinnern, dass du schon mal ein Spiel hattest, was ähnlich lief für dich, mit so vielen erfolgreichen Dreiern? Und ich meine, 25 Punkte ist fast persönlich euer Bestwert für dich?
So viele Dreier glaube ich nicht, aber ich weiß, dass mein Bestwert damals in Orlando war, mit einem Punkt mehr. Aber so viele Dreier habe ich jetzt sonst noch nicht gemacht, aber es war ein heißes Händchen heute, und dann werfe ich natürlich gerne weiter. Aber insgesamt, wie gesagt, wenn ich offen bin, lasse ich den Ball fliegen. Ich wusste ja, wie die verteidigen, wie die helfen mit ihren Großen. Also musste ich einfach nur bereit sein zu werfen, und das habe ich heute gemacht. Und natürlich freue ich mich, dass der Ball reingefallen ist. Nächstes Spiel kann es sein, dass es dann wieder jemand anders ist. Aber solange wir als Team irgendwie eine Lösung finden, gute Würfe für uns zu kreieren, dann haben wir immer eine Chance zu gewinnen.
Ja, mit welchem Gefühl fahrt ihr das nach Salt Lake City?
Natürlich mit einem hervorragenden Gefühl. Also nach dem Spiel 1, Spiel 2 zu gewinnen, tut natürlich extrem gut. Und ich glaube, wir haben auch das Selbstbewusstsein, um jetzt in Spiel 3 reinzugehen und es auch zu gewinnen.
Tim Cato, The Athletic. What do you see on the box score today?
Bunch of numbers.
Dollar signs?
No, just a bunch of numbers.
You have the first 40-point game with no turnovers. You guys have 3 turnovers as a team. What's the obvious importance of just maintaining as many possessions as possible?
Yeah, that was a big emphasis that was set after the game. We had great ball movement in the second half with, I think, 0 turnovers in the second half. I mean, we're out there playing, you know, just together, and everything was kind of fluid, and obviously the ball was going in for me, but I wouldn't be able to do that without my teammates, man. They gave me a lot of confidence, and it's a credit to them and the coaching staff. I just personally, but I mean, as a team, we just kept fighting. We stood together. Whenever they made runs, you know, we just stayed calm, and we just kept our focus.
How much do the dynamics on the court, the spacing dynamics on the court change when Maxi started hitting threes and pulling their team out? And once you guys beat your defender, you know, just breaking them into rotations.
Yeah, we were just able to make the right play. We were making a lot of open looks tonight, a little different from game 1, but yeah, when Maxi's hitting, it's he's on fire. He was 8 for 11. Jesus. 25. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's big time for him. I'm happy for him.
Dwayne Price and Math.com, Jalen with Maxi got it going like that. What difference does it make with his team?
It's big time. When he's able to, you know, stretch the floor like that, and the defense has decisions to make. And yeah, he was 8 for 11, but he's also a guy who's willing to make that extra pass. And he's I'm happy for him. Just the way he played tonight, and just incredible.
When you guys have a game like that, how do you pack this bag in your luggage and take it to Utah with you?
Yeah, I'm already trying to forget about it. This is great, and but I mean, long way to go. and this is a great win for us, something we can build off of. But we have a lot of room for improvement, things that we can clean up, and things we can do better. And we just gotta stay the course.
Jalen, can you remember the last time in your career, at any level, you had a game quite like this? Villanova or high school or anything like that?
Like this in the playoffs?
Oh no, I'm talking in general. Any kind of game like this.
I'll say I had in high school I had 56 in the semifinal, and it felt similar. I'll say that. Felt similar.
How much does your mindset change in terms of attacking and looking at your own shot when Luke is out, and when you come out like you did, you know, how much does that fuel that aggression?
I mean, my mentality and approach stays the same. I know I say that a lot, but it really does. I'm just playing how the defense was giving me, just seeing how they were defending certain things, and just stepping in confidently into certain shots. And I think I started, 5 for 5 maybe. So, I mean, yeah, the 5 for 5 start was great, but I mean, I had the same mentality when I was 0 for 5 last game or whatever, something like that. So, mentality stays the same. You can't fluctuate whenever, even when he's in or out, because you need guys to make plays. He has a lot on his shoulders, so we need guys to get in the paint, make plays, and just kind of, take the extra pressure off of him.
Jalen, Brad Towns of Dallas Morning News. How much, you know Luka as well as anybody on the team, how much do you feel like he's chomping at the bit to be part of this? And then also, is there a sense among the team, or you personally, that you guys have bought some time to get him into the series?
I know he's like I said this a while ago. I don't know when, but he's a competitor. He obviously wants to be out there. So yeah, I know he's dying to get out there soon. But I mean, he's got to take his time, and I know he's going to do everything in his power to not let his team down. But he has to make a decision that's best for him. I'm not necessarily knowing where he is, but I just know that he's a competitor. He wants to be out there, but we're trying to hold it down for him.
We got one on Zoom real quick. Kevin, go ahead. Sorry, two. Kevin, go ahead.
Evan Gray, 105 to the Fan. Jalen, you scored 11 of the first 14 points tonight for the Mavs. Can you take me inside the anatomy of a heat check three? Because you hit 3 3-pointers in a row, and that last one continued to get the momentum going. What goes into deciding to take that heat check three in a game like this?
I mean, I saw, I think it was Donovan. He backed up a little bit, and I kind of had a rhythm going into that shot, and just took my time and shot it. I saw him back up a little bit, and that kind of gave me the green light to shoot it, and I went in. So that's what I saw.
Luke, last one.
Luke asked you, Mavs Moneyball. Jalen, after game one, I asked you what positives you could take from the offensive side of the floor to bring into game two. And you mentioned taking better shots, being more efficient, that you were going to go back, watch some film, be a student of the game, and learn from that game one. Wondering if there was anything you saw while watching film or what you learned in between games that helped you prepare for the game you had tonight?
I think most importantly, I think in game one, I missed a lot of shots that I normally make. So I wasn't trying to go away from that necessarily. I think the biggest takeover from game one was just kind of just staying with it, staying patient, and just playing my game. I didn't have to change too much besides just slowing down and just concentrating a little more and just continuing to play hard for as long as I was out there.